Where is General Lane?
You ever think about dying, Superman? Because you're about to.
So, with the news of James Gunn casting his Superman for his upcoming Superman Legacy, I felt like covering the season finale of Superman and Lois was a fitting end for my Superman hype for the week. So, let's get right into it. To start this off, the season finale of Superman and Lois was absolutely amazing. I'm going to go beyond that and say that this was the best season by far. The introduction and portrayal of Lex Luthor by Michael Cullis was handled with absolute perfection. Over the years, we've gotten a few versions of Lex Luthor from Jesse Eisenberg, Michael Rosenbaum, John Cryer, Kevin Spacey, Gene Hackman, and now the current Michael Cullis. Without a doubt, he is the most intimidating and imposing version of Lex that we have ever gotten. His first appearance and interaction on screen really set the tone for what type of Lex Luthor we were going to get for this season. Now, the CW as a network isn't known for having top tier shows, but more so a network that serves pretty much subpar entertainment. So I have no idea how a show like Superman and Lois was made by the CW. The cast, the writing, the pacing, and the visuals have all been top notch for the most part. This season especially had some of the best writing of anything that I've personally seen all year long. Lois's counter battle was done really well. The story was well crafted and filled with so much emotion. You saw and felt the toll that this had on her, the kids, and Clark. Especially focusing on Clark here, being torn between being Superman and being a husband. I absolutely love the aspect of this show from the beginning to the end. The show itself finds a way to tell stories outside of the title couple in a way that is both fulfilling and complete, while not being a distraction from the main story. Case in point, Kyle and Chris's story arc are the relationship between Lana and John Henry. Both arcs felt meaningful, but not at all rushed, because they felt like they were built over time organically, and the outcome felt well deserved. Now, I do still have my reservations for Jordan Kent and his rebellious nature surrounding the absolute biggest secret that anyone could have in this show, and that being his dad is Superman and he himself is Superboy. His reckless behavior got a bit annoying at times, but the writers start to circle back and rein in Jordan's behavior towards the end of the season. With the news dropping last week that the CW was cutting costs to save money, which has led to a good portion possibly of the cast not returning for the next season. And the wrap up of some of the character story felt slightly rushed, but nothing that really takes away from the show in the end. Now, let's get into the meat and potatoes of this video, and that is Doomsday. The introduction of Bizarro in season 2 was some of the best bait and switch writing that I've seen in this show, period. His reveal was done in a way that made the audience think that the villain from season 2 was Doomsday, but to later be revealed as Bizarro, or so we thought. This sneaky reveal laid the groundwork for one hell of a plot twist that would later on pay off in season 3, the finale. Now, with the help of a newly released Lex Luthor, who found Bizarro in the subway reenacting his best version of Gollum, discovered that Bizarro was changing in a way. And this led to absolutely one of the most epic Lex Luthor montages we have seen in such a long time. And with that said, Doomsday was born. Now, this is where we run into a bit of a CGI problem. According to the Hollywood Reporter, the CW reportedly spends about $5 million on each episode of Superman and Lois, putting the show's full season budget for season 3 at around $75 million. So, putting this in perspective, this statistic shows the average cost of CGI, 3D, and animation effects per movie in the United States from 2008 to 2018. Now, according to Render That, the average cost of CGI, animation, and 3D effects amounted to roughly $33.7 million per movie during this time. Going a bit further, the cost of CGI effects in a standalone MCU film is about $100 to $200 million. while the Avengers movies themselves average around $350 million per release. So now that we got some of these numbers out of the way, looking at Superman and Lois, who is spending around $5 million per episode for a 40 to 45 minute runtime, compared to the MCU that spends between $100 and $200 million per movie on an average that is about 2.5 hours of runtime. Needless to say, the special effects artist for this show was working overtime, and their budget was absolutely stretched thin towards the end of this season. Now, the artists themselves did a really good job with the lack of budget by doing some really good lighting tricks, some excellent cinematography to mask the low-end parts of the CGI. At the end of the day, Superman and Lois put together the best version of a live-action Doomsday that we have seen to date. And damn, I have to say, he was whooping Superman's ass all up and down the streets of Smallville. The last version of a live-action Doomsday that we've gotten came from Zack Snyder's Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice. And the version that we got from Superman and Lois absolutely wiped the floor with Snyder's version. From the relentless assault on Superman to the utter disrespect of Superman's strength, durability, and powers, Doomsday was ragdolling the hell out of him all over the place. The one thing that really impressed me about the show is the use of Superman's powers, his heat vision, his breath, his hearing. And one of the final shots of Superman taking on Doomsday, he thinks that Doomsday was stopped until he starts to hear his heartbeat. And the realization that this is going to be a dogfight for Superman worked so well, leading up to the very first cliffhanger that we have ever gotten in this show. Probably because they ran out of money for CGI, and you can definitely tell towards the end of the season. Now, moving forward, we are getting a season 4 of Superman, which will probably be the 4th and final season of Superman and Lois, seeing that they've just introduced Superman's biggest threat, and I don't see from this point where they could go from here. And of course, with the introduction of Doomsday, from anyone that's ever read any comics and know anything about Doomsday, this also brings the death of Superman. Personally, going forward, I am looking forward to how the writers are going to handle such an important part and an important aspect of Superman's story. But that's it for the video. Thanks for watching. My name's Lincoln. This has been an RPG show. Until next time, guys, like, comment, sub, and I'm out. Peace.